The word play is the best word that I can think of for describing what complementary colors can do with one another, but fight is another word that comes to mind. Complements, like people who have more differences than things in common, can create a dynamic energy between each other. Ever heard the phrase opposites attract? That's a complementary relationship. In an image, if you can control how complements are used, you can play with the energy of the colors fighting or playing to attract attention and move the eye around the image. To demonstrate the kind of playful energy that can be harnessed with complements, I'll start with a book that I wrote and illustrated, My Little Pony Under the Sparkling Sea. I used iridescent colors to represent the magic of the place with the idea of being in an underwater world. So, by studying the iridescence of shells and bubbles and jellyfish, I was able to discover complementary colors in action that provided the palette that just fit the essence and atmosphere I was going for. When I begin a new piece, I choose a base color to build upon. This colored base is called a ground. Throughout the creation of the book, I choose grounds that would react as a complement to the most important elements with the greatest vibrancy. On the cover, the ground color, in this case the pastel paper, is a vibrant fuchsia. It is causing the opposite color, the blue-green of the water and two main characters, the mermare, Electra, and the pony, Rainbow Dash, to vibrate and react with the greatest intensity. Because some important characters are pink and purple, not very different from the ground color, I made sure to paint those things that are next to the characters in complementary colors so that they would still pop, but not quite as much as the main focus. Here, the green reacts to the pink of Pinkie Pie, and here, the dark green of the grass and the lime color of the shell walk react to the purple of Twilight Sparkle. I also used an orange-brown color for the shells to react as a complement to the ground, but again, with less intensity than the two main characters. Notice that the shadows meant to turn around a form or be less visible are closest to the ground color. This is known as color hierarchy. Color hierarchy is establishing the order of importance in the elements of a piece through the use of color. The things that are most vibrant create the most contrast and become your focal points. As contrast and vibrancy descend, so does our attention to those elements. In this painting, the ponies needed to be in focus, so I could choose a ground that would allow the vibrant pink, purple, orange, and red of the ponies to really stand out. All the other elements recede in importance as they are not complementary to the color scheme of the environment. To keep focus on all the ponies, I used the light and the complementary pink and purple to direct the viewer's eye to the main characters here and along here, like a visual net. Complementary colors are rife with possibilities because their energy, when they play next to or on top of each other, is explosive and hard to ignore. Don't let the vibrancy and vibration scare you, because when you embrace the complements and all they can do for you, it's bound to be an amazing relationship. Let's talk about tertiary colors. Those colors made from mixing or layering three primary colors, two secondary colors, or two complementary colors. Sadly, tertiary colors are often referred to as mud. That's just not fair to call neutral grays and browns mud when there's such a useful voice in an image. Even if they don't get to be the loudest, most vocal of all the colors, using the tertiary colors wisely as a kind of backup singer to the more vibrant hues can create balance in an image and establish a color hierarchy. Sometimes tertiary colors can play the largest role in a piece with only a limited need for vibrancy to make an image work. Tertiary colors can still vibrate against each other if complementary relationships are established between these neutral colors. Let's look at a painting that I created for the children's classic tale, The Wind in the Willows, written by Kenneth Grahame. The image is for the chapter The Wild Wood, depicting a frightening journey by Mole into the menacing woods. Because the text suggests a terrifying psychological space for Mole, I wanted the image to speak to the darkness and fear that he's projecting onto the woods. A palette of neutral color with high value contrast made the most sense for something serious and frightening. I like a ground or field of color to work on rather than the white of the page because it gives a context or an environment for the colors to exist. I chose to start with a ground of Van Dyke brown with a layer of emerald green glazed over it to create a neutral ground color that's slightly cool but not cold. Mole's state of mind, expressed in the text, suggested to me a painting drained of warmth and vibrant color. I decided that the trees and ground would be a slightly warm brown, and Mole's color is also in the brown family, along with the dirt floor of the woods. The variety of warm or neutral colors is made from cadmium red, yellow ochre, burnt umber, and purple. All of these colors have a reaction to the complementary opposite ground. Although the reaction is subtle, it's still essential to get the colors to pop off the ground and help delineate the forms. The rocks are gray tone with just enough warmth glazed over the bluish color to react to the ground as well. Notice that Mole is wearing the highest level of vibrancy, a pure red scarf made of cadmium red, next to a green coat, two complements that in this context seems more vibrant than anything else. It creates just enough vibrancy to make the viewer focus on Mole and his reaction as the first point of interest. Also from The Wind of the Willows is this painting for the chapter Dulce Domum, depicting a group of field mice singing Yuletide carols. I started the painting's ground with a warm neutral color, Van Dyke brown and burnt sienna. I chose to glaze this ground with a warm purple so that there would still be a complementary reaction to the colors in the brightest light. As this was meant to be a cheery moment full of warmth, I decided that it needed to be a warm scene both literally and emotionally, but also realized the lightest colors used for the brightest areas would be reds, oranges, and yellows. Using purple in the neutral ground created a complementary reaction to the opposite color placed on top and created the greatest vibrant reaction in the piece. Similar to the wildwood painting, I used a wide range of value, the same focal color, a cadmium red for the scarves, and an overall neutral palette that plays with complementary relationships. Using tertiary colors and exploring a neutral palette requires more attention to the value system in a piece and the use of vibrancy for creating a focal point and the reactions of complementary colors at a subtle level. Tertiary colors react quietly and discreetly, drawing less attention than the loud, vibrant colors, but their subtlety and expressive qualities make them the color underdog for an artist, and seriously, anything but mud.